Kirsty MacColl.
Yeah.
Oh, Kirsty MacColl. You know, she was on Stiff Records, I think, which my manager, Dave Robinson, after we started GP and the Rumour, his dream was to start this record label, and he started Stiff Records and filled it with people who couldn't get record deals, you know, basically. And that was his dream, and he did it, and it was an amazing, irreverent record label, and it's Kirsty MacColl is one of the acts, right?
Yeah.
And she wrote some good songs and stuff. And the only time I met her was in 1991, just before my record Struck by Lightning came out. It just mixed, which had the Kid with the Butterfly in it. I met her, I was in New York doing something or other, and I was in a hotel, and I was in the bar. I'd been doing interviews, or an MTV interview or something like that, you know, one of those promotional things. And Johnny Rotten walks in with Kirsty MacColl, and he was like, "Hey, are you Graham Parker?" "Yeah." So we're hanging out, and we go up to Johnny's room, I think it is, or no, Kirsty's room. She was married to Steve Lillywhite, right, the producer. And so I spent this night until about 3 in the morning with Johnny Rotten and Kirsty MacColl, which was, I mean, there was cases of wine. I mean, it ended up, those two had nearly a fist fight. And Steve Lillywhite fell asleep under the table, while Johnny and Kirsty are like, "Well, no," Johnny's like, "No, that's not right." And Kirsty's going, "He is bloody right." "No, it's not." And I'm like, "All right, this is fun. I think I'll go to bed now. Jeez, how do I get out of this, you know?" So that was the only time I hung out with Kirsty MacColl. And, you know, when she died some years later, right? Yeah. But that was the only time I had, you know, she seemed very nice, a lot of fun.
Graham, you worked with another musician who, besides Jack Nietzsche, you worked with the Stones. I think it was on another Gray Area album, Nicky Hopkins.
Yeah.
The great session pianist. And I'm a huge fan of. What was it like working with him? How much did you work with him?
Well, Nicky was, you know, amazing, because he worked on, he played actually on the Up Escalator as well.
Yeah,
I think Danny Federici, who plays the Springsteen on organ, played organ. Nicky played piano, acoustic piano on that album and on another Gray Area, right? I think it was on 2 albums, And, you know, I'd been with the Rumour until, you know, actually the Rumour were on the Up Escalator. But he impressed me with... The Rumour always took a long time to learn songs. They had to deconstruct them. It was a very laborious, painstaking process, and it was like they'd take the songs apart and then bring them back to where they were in the first place, but with all their moves on, which is, you know, brilliant. You know, they were brilliant musicians and stuff, but Nicky was much more session-oriented. Right. So he learned the song, and all he had to do was hear it twice, and he had it down. And that was really fascinating to me, and I really enjoyed working with the musicians like that, so I hired him again. And in fact, the last gig me and the Rumour played, he played keyboards on that gig in 1980, the very final gig in Essen, Germany, big TV show thing we did. And he's an English guy, so we had totally the same sense of humor. He could imitate any Monty Python character. So I got to be a friend of his, and he had a place in Los Angeles, and I was mostly in London, and he'd come to London and hang out and have dinner with me all the time. I'd hang out with him in Los Angeles, and he had you know, everyone in LA has a swimming pool, and he had a swimming pool. He moved to this new house, and the pool was green. The water was green, and he was like, "Yeah, the pool man says it's okay." I said, "That's not okay." You know, but we swam in it anyway. Nicky couldn't swim, but he doggy paddled. He only doggy paddled. And he was a great guy. I liked him a lot. Yeah.
1 or 2 more questions before we break.
Yeah, we've got to get moving soon because I've got a little show to do.
Yeah.
To continue this theme.
How about we do 2 more here?
Close the circle on Kid with the Butterfly Net. The album cover taken by Joey is like you chasing the girl with the butterfly net. Was the song written after that day? It looks like it was a day running around.
Oh no, the song was written before, but you know, the idea was there, and I said, "Pose it." Yeah, that's going to be a great cover. I wanted to pose it. Yeah, based it on the song. Yeah.
One more, man.
Do you think you'll ever try to pitch those TV shows?
I beg your pardon?
Are you ever going to pitch those TV shows?
Oh, these?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you know, my publishing company are like, yeah, let's get this to people. You know, they you know, some of those people work with people like Judd Apatow and, you know, and Farrelly Brothers. And I said, okay, you're talking my language. One of the girls in there, in the publishing company said that, but, you know, nothing's happened. So, there's, you know, all this stuff is very, very hard. It would take some kind of strange move of serendipity for somebody to see one of those plots and say, Graham, I want to turn this into a show, you know, so it would be great, but I doubt it's going to happen.
It's like, I know this is a random thing, but there's this guy, he's a songwriter, he was supposed to play today, but he got sick, and he does these like 24-hour long puppet shows, where it's like a cat, and the cat falls asleep and has a dream, and then in the dream, he has a dream, and it's just like, you wouldn't make any money doing this.
No.
I think that those TV shows would be hilarious puppet shows.
Well, I tell you what I have done. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I'd love that. You know, one of my favourite shows on at the moment is something called Food Party on IFC. It lasts 15 minutes. If you get a chance to watch it. It's totally out there. But I have something. One of them has just gone up on YouTube. I did something about 6 months ago called the Sunglasses, the Graham Parker Show, and it's on YouTube. So if you go to my website, grahamparker.net, you'll find it. And I just put out Sunglasses, the Graham Parker Show, episode 2. And basically, I bought a camera for $240, and I filmed myself doing skits and talking and stuff. And my son, who knows how to work the computer, has been putting it in this iMovies, which is a bit crude, it's a bit clunky. And I do, you know, like a lip sync to one of my songs and things. So I have 2 shows on YouTube that last 10 minutes, the Graham Parker Show. Probably the easiest way to access it is go to my website, grahamparker.net, and my website manager will probably have the second one up, maybe on the front page by now. I haven't looked, but so I am doing something on those lines, because it's you know, I haven't gone that far as to use a plot in anything, but it's pretty out there stuff that I'm doing. It's quite funny, you know. I think it is, hopefully. You know. And there's, you know, me skiing with the camera and stuff. Oh, I don't know whether I'm going to survive this. You know, just getting back up the hill. There's stuff like that. You know, that's featured heavily. And on the latest show, there's the extremely accurate nature report, which is wildly inaccurate and shows a few roadkill, you know. So I am working along those lines. Good thinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, Graham Parker. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks to Lori Coryell from the Ypsilanti District Library, who organizes this event, John Conahan. Please stop by Keystone Underground.
Keystone Underground?
Yeah, music's going to start at 8:30 with Paul Birch, Graham about 9 o'clock, so stop on by.
I'm only scheduled to play 30 minutes, is what it says in my contract, but it might be a bit longer if you're there, if you can't.
Excellent.